Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are having an incredible week. It's so wonderful to see you guys here. Before we begin, as always, I want to connect with you and just do a quick check-in with everybody. Where's everybody calling in from? So I'm going to go ahead and open this. If you guys want to unmute and just introduce yourself, please welcome. It's so good to see some familiar faces. It's so wonderful to see you guys. Come on in. Where are you guys calling in from? Anybody that's wants to share?
Hey friends, how's everybody doing? This is Esteban. Hi, Geraldine. Nice to connect with you one more time.
Yes.
I'm actually dialing in today from Costa Rica in Central America. Yeah, had a little change and visiting some family, and I'll be back in Florida next week. So very happy to be here and share with everybody one more time.
That's beautiful. Where in Costa Rica, and how is it?
It's been great. I am about 20 minutes from Jaco area, like Playa Hermosa.
Yeah.
The weather has been pretty rainy. They're towards their end of their rainy season. So it's been good though. Got some sun in the mornings, plenty of surf. The beach is wonderful and yeah, relaxing and resting.
Oh, so cool. Wow, amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and hello and your family. I hope everyone's well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Anybody else want to jump in, say hi? Where are you guys talking from?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm Kathy Blair. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia. And I recently was taken up in a craft this past week. And then I came back down. So I'm kind of still, hard to sleep sometimes. But I just wanted to share that. It's the first time it ever happened to me.
Wow, Kathy, that's very interesting. I really would love to invite you to come to our Experiencer support group. And I think the next group is in a couple weeks now. Oh, I think it's on the 9th of, not on the 9th. Oh, yes, it's on the 9th of December. So I'm going to send you the link, Kathy. And we can talk about it and dive deep into that because that's really, really interesting. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else would like to say hello? And where are you guys calling in from?
I'll say hello. I'm calling in from Pacific Northwest, US. And I am really doing the work, Geraldine, and I feel like I'm getting wings.
That is amazing. I'm so excited to hear that. And of course, we're here to support. So let's dive deep into some of the things that we're feeling blocked. Questions, where can I support you in this process? And let's get into it. So thank you for kicking us off, Jessica. I'm going to open the floor for questions now in the chat and in the room. There were some questions from the past week that I received that I also want to address. But let's go ahead and open and receive questions from our Zoom room first. Go ahead, come on in, guys. What would you like to ask? Any questions? Anywhere that you're blocked, anywhere that you're feeling having difficulty in your meditation or anything like that? Go ahead.
Geraldine, I have a question about the next week, Friday, the sound therapy.
Oh, yes, the sound bath.
Yeah, it's, I'm a local in LA, but I can't join you physically, so I'll be okay with the international on streaming.
Yes, that's
feed.
perfect. We would
okay.
love
I just wanted to make sure, and also I wanted to lightly introduce you to my wife. But I don't want her to have her own, link instead of through me.
Okay.
So because I could buy 2 tickets, but I want her to buy it. So I don't know if she's going to join. But she may. I just have to be polite.
No, John, that's not even necessary. I mean, if you guys are in the same house, obviously, just one. Yeah, you don't.
One ticket would do. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah, I was. Yeah, because you didn't have the first email, you didn't have the link, but then I saw the second one. Wow. Okay, that got me going.
I know we want you to join. So wherever you are around the world, if you'd like to join us for the sound bath next Friday.
Yes.
From 7 to 9, my wonderful friend Tina Trung is going to be doing the sound bath. It's really beautiful. If you're local to the Bay Area, come and join us. I think we have a couple tickets left. But if you are international, you can just get it online and join in the comfort of your own home. So please.
Yeah, we both into the singing bowls. I even bought her the gong, like the real gong.
Wow.
You know, so for her birthday, it was birthday or something, yeah, maybe.
Wow, that sounds so great.
Yeah, in here, LA Chinatown. But anyway, also I signed up for the 9th.
The 9th support group. Yeah.
Yes. I missed the one before, but all of a sudden a couple nights ago, all of a sudden like my telepathic talents started kicking in. So out of nowhere, just like that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. And that's happened. So when these gifts come online, we have to work on supporting them and developing them more. Some people, sometimes they get intimidated or scared, or they're not sure how to deal with it. So I'm very excited that you have activated that. Charlie.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. And then I still see, the interdimensional beings.
Yeah.
All of them, more in the morning now than in the evening, but I haven't been picked up yet, but one of these days probably I will.
if you're having some kind of contact, you're already having contact.
I mean, I see them all the time. It's like, the depends where I had the apartment. Some of them were more regular, some of them are irregular, context, but I do see him all the time.
Yeah.
So it's another guy I work with, he sees him all the time.
Wow.
Too.
Well, let's talk about that on the 9th.
9th. Copy that. Thank you.
We have a question from Shirley. Come on in. Shirley, do you want to unmute yourself?
Oh, hey, sorry, I'm a few minutes late because there's a work phone I just had to pick up. So you said we can ask any questions we have that blocking our healing, right?
Yes.
Okay, recently something has bothering me big time, which is I always remember all those traumatic history, how my family abused me mentally, and I just have that hate feeling comes out. I feel so angry. I feel so regretted not leaving them sooner than later. And I just don't like that feeling. I wish I don't need to think about those history, or even if it comes up to my mind, I don't have that hate feeling because it's a lot. It's heavy. I don't like that. And that's my question. Thank you.
That is an awesome question. And it's actually something that has been coming up a lot this week with working with my clients. So let's dive into that, dealing with strong emotions of any kind of interaction that causes strong trauma that's difficult to overcome. So thank you for that. We're going to address that this morning. Before I begin, any other questions?
Sorry, can I add just a little bit more? I think one of the reasons, not all, but one of the reasons this comes up to me is because the holidays, maybe because the holidays, we're supposed to receive the love, be with our friends and family, and because those abusers made me or us this way, and we don't have what we supposed to have, and I just feel, oh my God, so unfair, I don't deserve this, and yeah, it's harder during holidays. Thank you. That's what I want to add.
No, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. Anyone else? Any questions?
I would like to ask, hello, Geraldine and everybody. When I do the work with you, it's really like, I'm leaping. So I've gotten really great results, but still I have 2 questions. So going into the ancestral, that's kind of a little difficult for me to go that far. And also when you say to feel in all the energy bodies, the blockages, or let's say to close it up, I'm still not able to sense maybe everything. So I would like the support in how do I intuitively know where the blockages are or how to close the energetic bodies?
Yes, excellent question. We will address that as well.
And how can I also dive deeper into the ancestral lineages? So let's say if there's a blockage of unworthiness, for example, and it's showing up in my life right now, but how do I get to the root where it is coming from?
Yep.
So yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
excellent question. Yes, and for this is DNA reprogramming is excellent. Within just unpacking this, you can get to the root and resolve. It's the same thing with Shirley with the issue. It's a matter of resolving and understanding, uh, moving and transmuting that vibrational. But there's a way to do that. So we'll do that together in today's meditation. Excellent. Anybody else have any questions? Anything else that they are? Oh, let's go into the chat of the YouTube. Hello, I was just in the car accident on Friday. I received back and neck injuries. I'm wondering if maybe the trouble I've had with opening of my protective bubble in my back triggered this. Hi, Christina. I'm so sorry to hear about that accident. Um, well, that's a very interesting observation, but in regards to something like an accident, there's something definitely that is like a wake-up call to shake out of some pattern. So I think what really needs to be reviewed there is, what is this shaking up for us? What's being triggered by this experience? Because accidents, there's a law of accident that exists that when we become dormant and unconscious in our life, accidents will occur, and they can be small accidents. It can be anything from, let's say, food poisoning from food you're eating to a cold to a major accident that will gently tip us into awake in state and kind of look back and review. This law of accident can be shifted by being very conscious and aware at all times and consciously co-creating instead of repeating unconscious patterns. In addition, breaking karmic contracts in meditation work is important. When I say you're going to break contracts, immediately we think we're going to imagine seeing the contracts and just deleting them. But it's more than that. The fact that you are feeling in to these contractual agreements, you're doing what Linda was asking, feeling into your field, reading into your multidimensional body and your holographic DNA for where, because the body has an intelligence of its own. It knows where there's stagnation of energy, information, and memory. And it comes up through pain, discomfort, stiffness in the body, problems with organs, digestive system, pains, stomach issues, throat issues, whatever physical issue. Anytime the body is out of balance in some way, physically, mentally, we are stagnant energetically in some part of our body. So the pain helps us immediately locate where the stagnation is manifesting into the body. And from there, we can begin to, by feeling that stagnation, looking at the emotions that arise. It's very powerful. Sometimes just the mere acknowledgement of the pain that is in, because most people want to run away from pain. But if you actually go inside of your pain, if you feel the pain completely, what you'll discover, it's just like an emotion. Eventually, it just starts to soften because the body is asking for attention. It needs something addressed. So in the case of an accident, it is the same, but now we're working on a whole different level because now we're talking about major life choices, patterns, and directions that need readdressing. So I really hope that you're okay health-wise, but take a look at any kinds of fears, insecurities, doubts about where you're going and why you're in that direction, feeling out of alignment with those that you're around. Who were you in the car with? Where were you going? All of these things are things that we need to understand ourselves because nothing is just by random chance. And there is this law of accident that we need to take a look at. Okay, so thank you for that question. I see geometric forms when I am in altered state, spinning vortices and mirror images of the real when doing ceremony. Am I seeing into the matrix or into my own field? That is an excellent question and a very deep one because we would have to understand what is reality, right? Now, reality is made up of layers of perceptions that we are tuning in and out of. As we evolve in our perception, our reality and our engagement with the reality changes. The way that we perceive things around us shifts. This is a fact. So when that occurs in that way, we seem to have some powerful input into how we are experiencing things that are occurring around us. When we input the element of how should we call these? I'm not sure what it is that you took, but any kind of substance that alters the mind. What happens is that we enter into a hyperdrive, because lots of chemicals are being released, hyperdrive of vision. And unless we are aware how to navigate this vision, oftentimes everything that is suppressed will begin to express itself through these experiences. And when we see things in these geometric forms, we are tuning into a vibrational language of the universe, which is, it's universal. It's not just in the matrix, it's in all things. So I think the important thing with people that try substances is to remember to first practice your level of awareness in the conscious state, so that when you enter into these states, you can navigate clearly and know what you're interacting with. That's my number one thing. But you are looking essentially in your field. Everything that you have within the subconscious mind is being expressed vividly through substances, whatever substance you are taking. Usually these are hallucinogenic kinds. So, oh, no drug, just deep prayer work. Okay. Okay, that's very interesting. So, but it's the same. It's the same, because what we're accessing in meditation or prayer is that you're accessing the subconscious mind and tuning into those worlds. Essentially, you have holographic vision, which means that you can see beyond the matrix. That's what you're actually looking at. So thank you, Mark. I really could add more to that, but I would need to understand when you were doing this, you know, what kinds of things, what kind of meditation or prayer were you practicing? Because there are certain practices that enhance these visions, and they enhance certain parts of the body. For example, practices like Kundalini practices activate the lower chakras, the roots. So it goes into the realm of that field of your body, and you can do a lot of healing work in there and activation. And as you transmute more and more, you can reach higher levels. Okay. So yeah, so we would need to talk about that. But thank you, Mark, for that question. Excellent question. Hi from Colorado. Kevin, you do sound baths. That's so awesome. Okay. Times I'm feelings come from the mind, but we can call it the heart. Is it the ego mind trying to keep its power? Do you understand this question? Yes, RR2, welcome. Yes, so feelings, as in emotions, are information, and they are the language of vibrational frequency that help us translate experiences that we're having. So in order to fine-tune the translation, what needs to be fine-tuned is subconscious thoughts and programs that inform our emotions. If we haven't done a lot of work with our emotions, and our emotions are repetitive, reactionary, and just cycling, most of what you're feeling will be a result of those patterns. And this is very tricky because most people don't really know where they got their belief systems from. Most people haven't taken the time to review where they have the ideas of how to feel, how to express emotions, how to process emotions. This is really important. And what happens is that we begin to just repeat things that we saw mother, father, grandma, that we see in movies. We kind of do that, and we do it subconsciously, even without knowing. Sometimes even because of our unconscious state, environment will trigger emotions because of certain wave patterns. Music will trigger emotions that we're not even conscious. Bacteria in the biome, okay, parasites may also induce emotions, all of which are a result of unconscious connection with the body. So when we break that pattern of unconscious connection, we begin to take a look at our emotional reactions. We begin to understand where we actually got them from and whether we agree with that. Is our emotional feeling and reaction productive, constructive for you? Is it constructive? Is it the truth? And this is another interesting topic in conversation about truth, because how does one define truth? It is the core center observation that is not tainted by the ego or the fear, the individual mind. So that would be the most authentic observation. This is how, and usually when we make those kinds of observations, there are no emotions, strong emotions, because most of us, we swing on a pendulum from anger to love, or any emotion in between. Each one of those is picking a side already. You're already picking a perspective. So that already defines lots of things, where you come from and where you're going. So if the decisions and the observations that you make are from a place of neutrality, this is where pure intuition can also come in, and pure understanding of your experience in that moment. So I know that that's kind of a lot, but yes, this is something that came up a lot this week as well. So thank you for that. Okay, excellent. So what is going on with ringing in the ears and deja vu? I get that a lot, many times a day. Yeah, we talked about deja vu, I think, or ringing in the ears, I think a couple Sundays back. But, and it depends on your personal case, but check in with how you are integrating higher vibrational frequency with lower frequency. If somewhere there is a disconnect, primarily in the area of mistrust in your own intuition, in your own voice, in your own actions, there is oftentimes a tremendous amount of connection, disconnect between these energies, and there's a block. So we need to open the channels of the meridian energy centers of the body, which means flushing out heavy emotions, coming into neutrality, allowing source to move through the center of the body. And that will allow the body to come into a more of a stasis. Okay. And then, of course, the emotions into neutrality. Make sure, mind your emotions, that we are in a state of neutrality as much as possible. Excellent. Geraldine, we can do the sound bath on Zoom. Can you please post the link? Yes, I can. In the meantime, any questions from our Zoom room? I'm going to find that link in the meantime. Okay. All right. All right, my love. So let's talk about the two other questions that we had here. We'll start with Linda's question. Intuitive, how to feel the energy body. Okay. So this is kind of a perfect segue to the last conversation, because in the process of fine-tuning your understanding of your emotions, you also begin to uncover your patterns. Now, our field is a holographic projection of your DNA. Your DNA is the storage system of everything that you have been and everything that you have the potential of becoming within a simultaneous existence. You're a spark, a fractal of infinite source that exists simultaneously in many dimensions, which are all beautifully organized within the database of our DNA. What that means is that as you experience life, you trigger certain points. And all of these points of experiences are designed by how we are raised, the programs and emotions that we receive from the womb until the age of 7. So this time range from the womb until the age of 7 defines how we are either connected to our physical body or not. If we experience a lot of trauma, if we are constantly disassociating or checking out or in protective survival mode, chances are we have a big disconnect between the physical body. It will be very difficult for you to define your emotions, to name them, to know them, to even be familiar with the emotions, and to feel them in the body. Even though you will feel something, you won't know what it is. And that's because there is a disconnect between the feeling and the higher self, okay, the higher mind. So how do we repair this? This is the first step in feeling your multidimensional body, that we need to get a whole list of emotions. And I did this myself in my journey, and sat with every emotion and became acquainted with it. And what I noticed is that some emotions I was very familiar with, emotions like upset, anger, frustration, loneliness, all these emotions, you're very easy to just tune into those. And I want you to observe the moment that you read the emotion, what does your body do? How does it react? What part tightens up? What part, what sometimes when we experience something, we get anxiety, we start to get nauseous and uncomfortable. Notice that. It can be very subtle. Pay attention to how your body responds. And take a look at how you handle positive emotions. If you can name lots of positive emotions, but you don't know how they feel, that's a big indication that there's a major disconnect. This will help you understand what part of your body is mostly affected. Why? Because emotions are vibrational frequency. They all have certain vibrational ranges. The lower the emotion, the more impact and compounded it will be within the lower 3 chakras, within the first 3 fields of your body. These are things that are accessible to us immediately. So they provide information for our reactions. Okay, so that's stuff that's in our space. If we have a hard time connecting with joy, love, connection, unity, it's because we have a lot of junk, stagnation within the first 3 layers of the body. And oftentimes, until you begin to understand your emotional body, it will be very hard to tune in and feel because it's too stagnant. So what I advise is to use your imagination. This is an important tool. People sometimes want to put a line between intuition and imagination, but they are the same thing. You are utilizing the tool of imagination and visualization in order to form the images, put your intuition to work. The intuition puts the imagination to work, okay? And so when we become congruent with the higher and lower bodies, imagination and intuition become one. If you don't have them separate, if you have them separate, they will feel very separate. But when you train, you are fine-tuning the instrument of the body to begin to come into your authenticity. And that's what is difficult. It's difficult for us to come into pure observation, authenticity, being okay with the unknown. That means any possible thing that starts rising up, strong memory, strong trauma, strong emotion, we have the ability to bring the body into a stasis every step of the way. And that ability allows you to create a strong foundation to acknowledge, to be okay with acknowledging with the things that you're seeing in your field. Because what happens when people have trauma, not only is it stagnant and hard to see, but there's actually a subconscious fear of feeling things that you don't want to feel. You resist feeling, you avoid feeling, you're ashamed of feeling. Those are big. Okay. So the next part, let's talk about the more visual part. Stagnation in the body feels like pain, stiffness, discomfort. It'll feel like heat. Okay, so we're going to go through all the sensors. You're going to use all your senses to feel your body. And some of you are stronger in some of the clairs. So if, some of you might even hear your blockages. we hear words. It'll be a word like liver or back or fear or anger, or people will think of a memory. And when you feel that memory, the part of your body that's storing the memory will tighten up. Okay. So we're really learning how to get to the core of managing this human instrument. And this is what it takes. It takes such a profound connection with the body. And especially where we are right now in the evolution in the world, we all are invited to fine tune this instrument so that we can move forward in changing years to be able to swiftly anchor more source through the body. It'll provide health because of not only solar flares or galactic energies that are moving in our universe, but collectively, we need to hold more light in the body. As soon as you begin to identify the stagnation in the body, there are two ways to remove it. Either by imagining the stagnation as an object, random object, cloud, whatever is easy for you, and remove it from the body. You remove it from the body in two ways: down the center core channel to the center of the earth, or out through the crown into the cosmos. Both function like transmutational energies because of the way that our body is designed. We are vortices. So you will notice heavier density energy blockages will automatically want to go down. You won't be able to pull them up. Lighter and upper hemisphere blockages will easily go up. And you can imagine a vacuum. You can imagine, please use your imagination, a shovel, a zipper, a magnet, whatever feels good that will draw it out. In the beginning, when we don't work on our intuition, sometimes it can be difficult to imagine these things. So work with your imagination, with this practice. So those are my suggestions. We have 13 main bodies. Don't overwhelm yourself in that you have to see the 13 bodies all at once. It takes time. Work simply with the first 3. You can also access the information easier by shrinking the first 3 chakras. When I say closing, I don't mean turning off. I mean gently shrinking them. If you notice that the chakra is already shrunken, it means that there's a lot of stagnation. That's another way to see. It means that we have blockages, that it's not spinning and moving, okay? I also had a question earlier about someone that had a hard time spinning the chakra. And this happens because of a lot of suppression, denial, resistance to feel information that is stagnant there. Usually it's trauma memories. So in order to help energy move fluidly through the body, we have to see the things we don't want to see. We have to address them. One of the most powerful transmutational practice that the human can endure in this lifetime is the ability to overcome the fear of truth. We are very afraid of truth, and our own truth, how did we end up where we are? We have a lot of shame in our bodies towards ourselves, anger. You will find that all emotions go back to you. You might think that you're angry at the other person, but it all comes back to you. So this is the perfect segue to go to Shirley's question about dealing with really strong trauma with family. The key is to understand that emotions stem in us. We have, and I know that this is a complex topic. It deserves an entire hour of conversation. So I'm going to give as much as I can, Shirley, here, okay? First of all, families are designed by resonance. We incarnate into the families in an intelligent network of consciousness that does not make a mistake. And the law of free will is the ability for you as a consciousness to choose to experience this experience through your vibrational resonance and all the choices that you've done prior to that in your existence, whatever you have manifested as before. You are also existing simultaneously in other ranges with some of the same souls that you are interacting in your family. So when we come into family circles, we are deeply interconnected in programs, and we are usually working on many levels, not just this earth plane. The people that create the most challenge, the most pain and suffering for us, usually also are the ones that are on the highest level in another aspect of ourselves. And the reason why I say that is because we need to understand our participation in co-creating this resonance. And it's not ignoring the fact that as a child, we came into a family looking for nurturing, protection, love, communication, and many of us did not get that. We got abuse, physical, emotional, psychological, lack of love. All of those things formed who we are, and they equipped us with the ability to experience the shadow of the human experience in a profound way, which means that you have the ability and the activation in your DNA to experience the highest light opposite to that darkness. This is how important those of you that have had terrible trauma are to this collective. The process of transmutation from the lower to the higher is not only the activation of DNA, but it is a potent anchoring of life force through your body and a potent healing of ancestral lineages, which also goes into Linda's question in a minute. And what happens is that our opportunity, we have to look at family circles not as family in the way that it's been presented to us, okay? There's a biological element that's very real, the connection to the mother, all of that, biological, chemical, electrical. However, that's within this earth experience matrix. Beyond that, we are souls that are existing simultaneously in many different ways. And so we need to understand and see family members as lights rather than the roles that we believe that they need to play. If we continue to see father as father, we have all kinds of expectations, ideas, concepts, movies that tell us, this should be this way, friends that supposedly have amazing families. But when you begin to look down deep, everyone has similar things going on. So we have an illusion and a fantasy about family and how relationships need to take place. This is false. It's not real. It's an illusion. What is real is the agreements that we make to experience and the opportunities that we have to break cyclical programs of suffering, not only for yourself, but for the next generation. If you plan on having kids, this work is essential. And it's the difference between creating what people are calling a new earth and an old and repeating this old imbalanced world that we live in with a lot of suffering. Okay, because your DNA is the co-creation of the collective. So if you're holding on to that trauma, we're just cycling in mud, essentially, going right back in unconscious. Okay, so how do we deal with this incredible anger that comes? We need to understand first what makes us angry. Okay, and that might sound simple, but that road will help you get to the authentic root of what hasn't been seen yet in you. There is something that still hasn't been seen. There's a part that is in pain that hasn't been addressed by you, the experiencer, not the other person, because we can never control the other person or our surroundings, especially with holidays coming. Many of you are going to perhaps visit these family members, and there will be many opportunities for the trigger. So what is it in us that is still suffering? We need to address that part. We need to acknowledge it, feel it, and we need to heal it in a way. How do you heal? Is that first we accept our suffering. Then we need to broaden the perspective from the sufferer into the observer. And this journey will allow you to understand how we ended up in that agreement. You will begin to observe, let's say, father and mother, brother, sister, why they behave that way. Just by observing them, you're going to understand what they need. Okay. So for example, if there's a lot of physical abuse, did they receive a lot of physical abuse in their life? Okay. Do they have the tools within them to provide anything other than suffering? Even sometimes they don't even know they're causing suffering. Sometimes for them, this is love, because this is what love is. And we have to really mature in our understanding of who knows what love is. How many of us really know what love is? Some of us have never felt it. So we ourselves have to know love, essentially. That's really what it comes down to. And if you sit with the feeling of love and you feel nauseous, uncomfortable, you want to run away, or you feel vulnerable, this is your homework. This is where we need to start working with. Okay. And some of you might think, oh no, I know love. I'm very familiar with love. I feel love all the time. In fact, I'm nothing but love. But I would invite you to go deeper. If you still have anger, you're not love. And there is no right and wrong around that. This is simple. Just it's important in healing to be absolutely truthful with yourself in noticing the parts that are still hurt and addressing them. And these parts of us have to meet love. So without going deeper into the topic, because I can't right now, show that part of you, let them meet love. And it will show you what you need from the other person. Whether they give it to you or not is another question, but you're going to understand what you need from another in order to feel safe. Not to demand it from another person, but in order to understand why you have repetitive programs, why you attract the same people, why you have the same problems in other relationships, whether it's feeling of helplessness, abused, neglected, rejected. All of those are a product of our belief systems. So as you begin to unpack those, you're also going to understand what love is, because you're going to name it out. You're going to say, I need communication. I need protection. I need respect. Okay, let's say those three things. Okay, do you communicate with yourself? Do you acknowledge your emotions? Do you reject? Do you feel shame around your emotions and your beliefs? Do you respect yourself? Do you have healthy understanding of your needs and you meet them, and you're not pulled or swayed by other people when they're stressing or having a fit that pulls you out of your space, right? So all of those are acts of self-hate, essentially, and self-rejection. Somebody is unmuted. I'm just mute you guys, no problem. Okay. So this is important to look at, guys, because unless we really look at those really hard questions, we are always going to feel victimized in the experiences with the person that causes, it has inflicted suffering on us. And what that is for, it's not to let them off the hook or ignore what has happened. All of that work has to be done. It is in order to create a strong foundation in you about who you are, to meet yourself, and to know that what you will learn at the end of that journey is that all emotions, all your needs are only met by yourself. And many people, when they hear that, sometimes they want to strangle me, right? Because it's like, what do you mean? I want to be loved. I want to be taken care of. But the fact is, in this incredible matrix of interconnection, the only way to unity is through the union within the self. Without the internal union, there is no union externally, period. And the union internally is the friendship that is created, the integration of the feminine and masculine, the shadow and the light, the pain and the love within you becomes one, which means all of it is seen, experienced, known. Without that knowing, there is separation within. And without the separation, with the separation, there is no love. And this is also where you start going into activated intuition, healing abilities, telepathy. Those things emerge from this thing. It's an entire system that comes into play here. So this is really important. I hope that helped. I know that we could have talked a little bit more about that, Shirley, and I'm happy to do so as well after. Okay. Linda, your question about the ancestral lineages, I touched on it a little bit today, but as we do this work, essentially the part where you are interacting with the other person in your meditation, what you'll discover is the question that you're going to want to ask is, okay, this person inflicts suffering on me. Why this person, or whatever it is they're doing, why does this person not have the tools to meet my needs? That's the question. And when you ask that question, you will begin to see with your intuition, you will know. And I want you all to train yourself to trust what you know and see in your meditation. You are not making it up. Okay? We're going to come into neutral state in your meditation by shrinking your first 3 chakras so that you have less intervention from the fear and survival body. That will allow you to see truth in a more neutral way. So observe the other person in this state, and you will begin to understand. When I was doing this work, I mean, it was incredible. Even before I had my abduction experience, which is where my psychic abilities really came online, I was able to remote view my mother's lineage, suffering, trauma, grandma, abuse. I mean, all kinds of things that went down our family lineage. Ideas about sex, ideas about love, relationship, roles that we play. Oh my gosh, things that were adopted from religion, culture, society. All of that plays a role. It's encoded in you. If you have a certain feeling about something, you don't know where it came from, trust me, it is encoded in your DNA and we are inheriting it. It's a very subtle programming that is ignited in the body, and we have to acknowledge that and address it so that we know ourselves very deeply. So the ancestral work is to understand those lineages so that you can begin to release. Again, seeing is expansion and unity to the whole. The more that we see from a neutral perspective, the larger your light grows and the more you begin to become one, because it's like you're reading your field and you're opening your vision to the whole field. The more further you go in your ancestral lineage, the further you're reading your genetic data expression. So you're getting into the fields of your body, your 7th, 8th, 9th dimensional layers of your body. Those are where the ancestors are encoded and rooted in the body, in the emotions, right? So we begin to uproot emotional memories. And the idea is to heal, bring the suffering into neutrality through love. That's essentially what you do. And when you do that, you begin to release a lot of ancestral interconnections. It's amazing. Okay. We will do an entire conversation on ancestral because there's much more to that in regards to our cords and lineages that need to be uprooted and healed. But I will stop right there because I think that might be enough to get you started. Let me know if you have questions. All right, my loves, thank you so much for joining me in your incredible, well thought out questions. Teresa, thank you so much for joining us. Yes, I hope that I kind of answered that as well with my last question, but we can go deeper into that as well. Okay, let's start with the meditation, my loves. I want you to get really nice and comfortable. Let me check into the chat here. How are you guys doing, my loves, in the chat? Thank you so much. Any recommendations for releasing anger, especially if it's highly repressed? Yes. Again, the anger goes back to the body. And anger is really the profound feeling that we are helpless, and we don't know how to get our power back. So the housing for the suppression of anger is primarily in the solar plexus and in the back of your body. If we have a lot of anger, we are blocking the connection and integration of the higher self in the physical. So anger is actually one of the most important emotions. It blocks our ability to see truth. So for anger, we need to take a look at programs of helplessness, victimization, and we need to ask the hard questions. What is our role that we play in those scenarios of feeling helpless? And what do we need in order to no longer be helpless? And you really need to look at that and think about that. To feel helpless, what would make you feel empowered? What do you need to feel protected? What do you need to feel acknowledged, seen? And here's how we solve that. You have to create a program of doing these things towards yourself every moment of your day. What heals anger is congruency between mind, body, and action that creates healthy boundaries, respect towards yourself, and acknowledgement. Most of us are angry because we ourselves either don't feel like it's okay to acknowledge the things that have happened to us or the pain that we feel, or we feel shame. That's a huge one. Shame about things that we have done. Maybe we have gone off the rocker. Maybe we become super angry, did something bad to someone, threw something across the room. And the amount of shame that you feel is a paralysis that, again, it blocks your ability to see truth and to see yourself. So forgiveness, major self-forgiveness. We need to take a look at our understanding of ourselves, why we do the things we do, and begin to look at yourself with compassion, acceptance, and forgiveness. And from that shift in the way that you look at yourself, you begin to see the one that's suffering underneath all those things. And you need to help that person because no one else is helping it. That part of you is abandoned right now. It's disconnected. It needs to be seen. So from there, we need to provide love, support, acknowledgement, and truth is the key. Truth is the key. Okay, and if you, you can kind of go back to the beginning of this video when I talked a little bit about how to get to that truth. Yeah, Anders, shame related to anger. That was a new one to me. That's a big one. In my healing sessions, most of the time when we have shame, anger, there's always shame, guilt, or judgment towards the self. So take a look at where we have these judgments. Okay. Katie Ann says fire breath and deep breath work helps release suppression. Also, absolutely, also. And that's because we're moving the diaphragm here and waking up the central core of the body and releasing the tension in the nervous system in the solar plexus, right? So as you can see, the beauty of the body is that there's many ways to address this. We just need to learn, and all of us are different, so we need to try different things, okay? All right, my loves. So let's start by inhaling deeply. Good, and allow yourself to come into a state of complete stillness. I want you to breathe deeply into the base of your spine. With every breath you take, allowing the body to come into a state of neutrality. Quickly moving through the body from the crown of the head the face, the brow, the cheekbones, the jaw, the neck, bringing the body into calm. And you're going to just create a rhythmic breath in and out into the base of the spine. With every breath you take, coming into a state of calm, more calm, and more relaxed. When we are in a state of anxiety and stress, the stomach will resist, the abdomen will resist allowing that oxygen to enter into the base of the spine. So you're just going to breathe deeply, expanding the solar plexus, filling the belly with oxygen in order to expand and release the tightness of muscles. Go ahead and let go of any emotions, any judgment, fears, resistance, anxiety, into a state of just observation. Going down into the hips, into the thighs, into the knees, into the shins, the calves, the feet. We're going to ask every cell of the body to wake up consciousness. And I want you to bring your presence to every cell. See if you can do that. Notice how the body adjusts. Pain alleviates, discomfort alleviates as you redirect your attention to the healing body. As you breathe deeply in a state of absolute stillness, feeling the rise and fall of the oxygen entering and leaving the body, I want you to take your attention out to your energetic field now. I'm just going to tune into our attention around our body. And I just want you to sense, I want you to feel it with the entire perimeter, external perimeter of your body. Every hair, every skin part of your body, every front, back, above, below you. I want you to feel, tune into the feeling body. Feel the space around you. Notice the temperature. Notice if it feels heavier or lighter in certain parts of your body. If certain parts of the body are more sensitive. Go ahead and hear the space around your body. This is a very powerful grounding practice to tune in and heighten your senses. So let's go ahead and hear your energetic field. See if you pick anything up. Sometimes people with heightened hearing abilities, they can differentiate space around them. Some areas might be, closer to the body. Some areas might be wider or emptier, and they do it through their hearing. So just notice if you are one of those people. Okay. Now let's go into those of you that are visual. Visualize your field. Can you visualize the body and how it expands and extends around you? Can you sense areas that are warmer or colder around your body? This is all important information about energy. Okay, and then some of you are just going to know. Go into the mental receptor of the field. Some of you just know what areas are more dense, what areas are lighter around you. Check into that. Feel into the field. You guys are doing great. Breathing. Okay, and we create a sphere around your body. I want you to seal that sphere all around you, repairing any tears, any openings. And as you do that, you are healing your multidimensional body. Don't neglect any part of your body. Any part of the body that you forget about is in a dormant state. So you want to bring your attention to every part of your body. Don't resist letting go of pain. Let go of everything that no longer serves you at this time. Thoughts, perspectives, ideas, beliefs, emotions, judgment. Breathing deeply. Okay, we're going to go deeper. Go ahead and focus on the root chakra at the base of your spine. Go ahead and tune in to that root chakra. I want you to gently shrink it down to the size of a dime. Disconnecting any imbalance of the root chakra, front and back. Notice how the body can feel safer, more calm. Breathe. Go up into the sacral, shrinking that chakra down to the size of a dime. Disconnecting any imbalances in the sacral body. All conflicts of the mind and body can be healed by learning how to use the instrument of the physical body. Let's go up into the solar plexus now. Shrink that chakra down to the size of a dime. Letting go of the need to resist judgments, strong emotions, angers. Allowing this poor, beautiful body that goes up and down in so many experiences to experience neutrality for a moment. And right now you are experiencing energetic neutrality, emotional neutrality. This is the first step. From here, it's easy to clear thoughts. Bring the attention to the breath. Let's go up into the heart now. We're going to expand that heart chakra front and back. Activate your center of coherence. This is the key to the integration of the higher self and the physical. It is the key to the activation of alchemical transmutation and higher vision. Expanding it into the areas that feel difficult to expand into with love. Trust, you are safe. Breathing deeply. Okay, go up into the throat chakra. Go ahead and expand the throat chakra. Activating the center of balance, communication, expression. This is a chakra that is very targeted during these times. So all of our blockages that have been suppressed in regards to expression, communication, balance of the feminine and masculine, it might be all out of balance. So bring it into balance. Come into neutrality. Going to go up into the third eye. Go ahead and expand that third eye, activating the center of intuition, clearing up that pineal gland, beginning to flush out stagnation in the amygdala, beginning to clear out stagnation in the meridian lines of the head and the brain and the nervous system. Okay. And I want you to activate the crown. Go ahead and expand your crown chakra. You're going to create a color that represents your highest vibrational frequency. Fill it into the crown. We're going to align ourselves out of the matrix, unconscious repetitive patterns, into co-creation and intentional creation. So into the areas of career, into the areas of relationships, love, intimacy, family, creation, creative life force energy, sexual energy, health, healing, and vitality, balance, and your purpose, your deep understanding of yourself and the role that you are playing in this greater collective. Fill that in. Those of you that feel unsure, any of you that have issues in any of the areas that are named here, it would benefit for you to ignite this area with your awareness every single day, setting the intention to begin to shift and co-create. Go ahead and tune into your body. I want you to begin to tune into the emotions that are in the body. Take a look at the emotions over the past 24 hours and the past week. Go ahead and identify the emotions that most came up for you. Should be pretty easy to feel them in the body. Go ahead and tune into that emotion. Take your attention to the part of the body that tenses up the most. As you feel this emotion, observe it. Observe the sensations in the body and observe the thoughts that it triggers. Okay, go ahead and select the strongest emotion. Be present with this strong emotion. Locate where in the body this is trapped. Be absolutely present with that part of your body. Observe the sensations, the discomfort in the body. Observe the emotions that come up. And just allow yourself to name them out. As you are absolutely present with this emotion. As you begin to unpack and look, acknowledge the emotions that are trapped here, you're going to notice that your body begins to readjust and release tension. We're not done here. We just got started. Select the emotion that you feel the strongest now. Pay attention to the layers of emotions and information and memories that are coming up for you. Within this emotion, you will begin to understand why you feel this emotion, just by sitting with it, just by observing it. So from those observations, select the strongest. There will always be one that is the strongest that your body responds to, like a trigger. It'll immediately react. A part of your body will tense up, or it'll be a really strong, uncomfortable feeling that you can't shake. This is the uncovering of suppressed memory data in your body. So observe it and be present with it. Once again. Many of you will have unpacked strong discomfort. Go ahead now. By now, you have already found a root emotion, a root thought, a root belief. So go ahead and take a look at that, what you've discovered. And I want you to notice how familiar you are with this emotion, with this belief. We're going to begin to observe moving through our life, moving backwards, at memories of ourselves that have felt this belief and this emotion. Don't get tangled up in the story or the event. Just observe it like you're collecting pictures. You will know, and your mind will take you immediately to those memories, to those occasions, those scenarios. So just begin to collect them in front of you like pictures, one by one. You might feel this emotion very strongly in your body now. So I want you to be absolutely present with that emotion. And you're going to observe it. I want you to ask yourself, why do you feel this way? What makes you feel this way? And I want you to answer the question not in a way of a story or what you have adopted from others or what the stories you've created about yourself and the reasons for why you feel that in your mind. I want you to get to the core root need. What is it that you need? What is it that you are trying to get by feeling this emotion? What is the deep desire at the base of this need that is unmet? And as you begin to observe and acknowledge that, you will notice that the tension in the body begins to gently, lightly dissolve. Keep going. Keep acknowledging what you need in order to assist that deep unmet desire and need. Notice if you discover self-betrayal or disconnect from yourself, lack of communication, lack of love, whatever it is, observe. And as you begin to observe and collect a list of what this part of you needs in order to no longer feel this strong need, what is it that you need to provide it for yourself now? So let's say It's love. What is it that you need to provide yourself love? What does love mean to you? And you can use that example with whatever it is that you have discovered that you need. You will notice that the tension in the body has now almost completely eliminated. This is the process that you're experiencing, is the process of transmutation. As you begin to acknowledge everything that you require, begin to observe what kind of changes you need to make in your life in order to provide this need for yourself. So in the example of love, what are some of the changes that you may need to make this week in order to be able to provide yourself with love, compassion, truth, trust, acknowledgement, validation? All of these are examples of things that you might need. Begin to look at yourself tomorrow morning when you wake up and find yourself in a similar circumstance. Observe that part of you in that moment that wants to repeat patterns of survival again. Observe that part of you that is afraid, that becomes paralyzed, or that reacts. Sometimes wildly, sometimes unconsciously and robotically. Notice the amount of suffering that is caused by these unconscious reactions. Begin to forgive yourself for all the times that we have not supported ourselves. Look at yourself with compassion as you begin to observe how every emotion strongly affects the body. Every emotion of fear, of anger, that causes strong chemicals in the body that cause inflammation, stress, anxiety, the illusion of being separate. Bring that part of you back. Forgive and compassionately provide what you require to meet your need. I want you to do the same with all of the memories that you have selected and collected like pictures. All the different scenarios throughout your life that you have experienced and repeated this same pattern. You can bring those parts of you to life, and I want you to allow them to absorb, whether it's with a color of healing energy or with a deep understanding, acknowledgement of how to meet that need now. Provide them with this information so that they can utilize this as a tool. As you begin to reprogram the subconscious mind, all of our inner children are our subconscious mind. We have thousands of inner children that have experienced thousands of experiences. some good and some bad. The more you acknowledge all of them, the deeper you are reprogramming your subconscious mind. Don't get distracted. Don't lose your thought. As you heal these fragments of yourself, you're going to see these parts of you merging into one. You can see the people that are involved in these experiences, in these memories, if they are family members, relatives, siblings, you can see them in front of you. Partners, husbands, wives. Go ahead and see them in front of you. I want you to shine your crown light on top of them, and you're going to see a contract. This contract represents the resonant program that we share. People inflict suffering that they themselves are suffering. So let's begin to dissolve that contract as we bring awareness to that automatic part of ourselves. As you gently dissolve. And we don't necessarily need to do it to other people. We do it to our own self. Go ahead and see all of your fractals of yourself that have healed. Surround them in a golden light. I want you to see cords from your body leading all the way to people, places, and things that are in resonance with this belief. And we're going to gently inhale our life force back into the body, our participation, taking responsibility for ourselves, and releasing everything that we took on that isn't ours. Sometimes we take on other people's suffering. Release that. Let go of everything that does not belong to you. And by that, I mean things that you have unconsciously taken on. Okay, so as you neutralize those cords, those energy resonance cords, begin to see all of your fractals that have merged into one in front of you. And I want you to inhale deeply, taking it back into your body now. You're going to redirect that healed life force into the parts of your body that were feeling tense and tight. Your body is intelligent and it will know exactly where to allocate. Go ahead and pull out of your body down to the center of the earth, anything that needs to be released from the body. Visualize a vortex of violet light underneath you or above you, clearing your fields. Focus on any discomfort that is still remaining in the body and pull it out of the body, sending it down to the center of the earth. Create a vortex motion into these discomfort areas of the body and visualize that you are, through that vortex, pulling it out. Aches, pains, thoughts, blockages, limitations. We're going to go ahead and bring source light now, anchoring source down through the body, creating a pillar of white light through the body. You're going to begin to focus on the root chakra as you begin to expand that root chakra back into a balanced state. Naturally allow life force to begin to move through that chakra front and back. Just observe, you don't need to do anything. Notice how the energy moves. Just allow that white source, as if you're standing underneath a waterfall of white light, to do what it needs to do with that root chakra. Clearing out the first layer of your body. Feel the powerful, strong fall of this waterfall of white life force. Pounding, massaging, falling, waking up the dormant parts. Go ahead and go into the sacral. Gently open up the sacral back into a balanced state, front and back. Allow that waterfall to do what it needs to do. Breathing. The more you breathe, the more your energy centers will spin and move fluidly. The more your back is straight, the more it'll be easy for energy to move through your body. Go up into the solar plexus now. Gently open that solar plexus back into a balanced state. Breathing. Healing and pulling that white life force through the third layer of your body. Okay, go up into the heart now. Expanding that heart chakra, letting that white life force clear through. Opening the runways of energy into the network of coherence that connects us with one another, with the all, beyond time, space. Bring yourself into a feeling of gratitude, profound gratitude for your body, for your experiences, for your awareness, for the shadow, and for the light. That gently molds us into what we are, like diamonds. Come into love now. If you're not ready for love, go into compassion. What are some of the changes you're going to make this week to be more compassionate with yourself? Whether it's the food, habits, thoughts, emotions. Just focus on feeling compassion. The answers will come easily. Go into the feeling of love now as you open up the throat and you clear, allowing that throat, that waterfall of white light to clear out the fifth layer of the body, balancing our perception, clearing the endocrine system, the lymphatic system. working with stagnant energy in the vagus nerve. Going up into the third eye now. Clearing stagnation in the amygdala, bringing ourselves out of a state of survival into a state of neutrality and observation. Going into the pineal gland, activating the pineal gland. This is the seat of the soul. This is the spiritual integration point of the higher self into the physical. So activate that pineal gland. We are not afraid of truth, and we are not afraid to trust ourselves. We are the shadow and we are the light. Take yourself up to the crown, activating the center of manifestation, all that we bring into the densities of the material realm through our intentions, thoughts, and actions. Every moment is creation. How are you creating? As you activate your crown, removing any blockages underneath that waterfall of white light, with areas having to do with belief systems of lack, the mistrust in yourself, again, healing. Seeing yourself and others more as physical than light. Those are all limitations. Let's move beyond that as you activate the 7th. Breathing, activate the 8th. Activate the 9th. Activate the 10th. The 11th. 12th. The 13th. The 14th. And above you is a powerful white light of source as you anchor more source down through your body. Create a wide pillar of light down through the crown of your head, into the spine, and as it moves through the body, readjusting the body into perfect homeostasis, into perfect health, reconnecting the runways of energy in the body, down into the spine, the chest, the lungs, down through the diaphragm, through the organs, the sexual organs, really important. Activating stagnation, releasing, moving down into the perineum, and anchor that white light now down into the center of the earth. As you heal your body, you heal the earth, because the earth is also an extension of your body. So this is a very important part of active conscious co-creation with the whole. Excellent. So as you begin to open your eyes and come back into the room, I want you to begin to just continue to feel that love. Don't allow yourself to snap out of meditation. I want you to ease that meditation into your aware moment here with us in the room. And we're going to sustain this awareness throughout our day, continually, mindfully observing, just as you did in today's meditation. You're going to bring it into your daily practice. And we'll connect next week to see how that has helped. Okay. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. As always, it is such a divine pleasure to connect with you all. It is my honor, and I am going to open the floor for maybe 1 or 2 questions, anything that we haven't addressed or anything that came up in the meditation that needs support. Yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself and come right in.
That was a wonderful meditation, and I feel so relaxed. It's beautiful.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you, since I had that encounter where I went into a ship, I've been kind of like afraid that they're just going to take me again and I won't come back. Is there, and I don't want to feel that because I'm attached to my family here. And I'm just wondering, why would I, it's dealing with this little bit of fear, and in another sense, I'm like, well, what if it happens? It happens, but still, I don't want to, I have family here. So
Yes.
sometimes I can't sleep well.
So your contact experience, did it happen in the waking state or dream state?
It happened in the waking state.
Okay. And were you taken out of consciousness? Did you have missing time?
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Missing time.
So just tell us really briefly what happened exactly.
Well, I didn't expect it. I was just sitting on the sofa, and then all of a sudden I felt myself in this vehicle, this space vehicle. It was very quiet. I could hear humming like machinery, and I couldn't see any entities or anything. But obviously, I knew I could not come back. I mean, I couldn't come back on my own. And it was just like a quietness, and huge vehicle that it was just immense.
So ET contact, interdimensional contact rather, is affecting both the physical and non-physical. However, there are very, very few. See, in order for you to go and never come back, your vibrational frequency of your body would have to be completely in alignment with that dimensional plane. And that does take a lot of shifts in order to be in alignment with these dimensional planes. The agreements for contact usually are, especially in these interdimensional things, tend to be somewhat of an initiation of your intuitive abilities and activation of your DNA that relates directly to your connection to the lineage that you're encountering. So the kind of grays or the beings, or not necessarily grays, whatever beings that you're encountering will define the vibrational frequency of your encounter, the way that you felt, and the way that you're interacting with them. So there's many things that we need to unpack. But Kathy, I will tell you right now that this kind of contact is in order to activate some information for you. So I want you to pay very close attention to your dreams. I want you to write them down. I want you to feel comfortable sleeping. And if you can learn and try to practice a little bit of lucid dreaming, it would be very helpful. Every moment of your day. Now, I'll tell you something else. Interdimensional contact, because the contact is a result of your vibrational frequency. If you come into fear, you are going to manifest events that are seemingly more fearful and make you feel helpless. If you come into love, you're going to manifest events that are more constructive, and expansive. I really want you to pay attention to that. So now, until we talk on the 9th, because we're going to go deeper into this conversation, I want you to come into love as much as you can every moment of your day. I want you to bring your awareness into what you're doing and almost like wake yourself up. Like the moment you start zoning out, bring yourself back into awareness. And as you do that every day, it's going to go into your dream state so that when you have these encounters again, you will be able to decide by feeling whether you want to participate in that interaction or not. And I will explain that in depth next time, but please understand that you are safe because you are actually very much in control in regards to what you're co-creating in these experiences. Okay.
I see. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and there's more that we'll talk about in regards to even family, because there's a family element here as well. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, my love. Thank you very much. Guys, I want to thank you so much. Any other questions here? Deep gratitude to all present. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, you guys. And I will see you again next Sunday. If you would like to join the sound bath, if you are in Fremont, Bay Area, San Francisco, want to come to the sound bath, please join us. We have a couple tickets left. And you are also welcome to join on the Zoom. Okay. So thank you, my loves, essentially beautiful present. Thank you. Love you so much. Have an amazing week, guys. Love you. Take care. And see really quickly in the chat. Thank you. That was extraordinary. Thank you so much. Oh, so many great questions. I'm going to answer your questions next week. Love, love. All right. Bye-bye.